Hi, welcome to class 6, and what I want to do in this video is go over your corrections handout assignment. Now, this video will be available after the answers to the corrections handouts will be available on Tuesday at noon. Okay, so we're talking about the class that will be on May 6th, as it's here right now. Right now, today is actually May 18th. So this is still hidden from you, but what I need you to do to make sure is that you downloaded the document here from May 5th to download the corrections handout file, okay? Corrections assignment number 2 for Fiona the Dog. And we're going to be looking at that and filling in those answers. And then once you're done with that, once we're done with this video, I should say, okay, on the May 6th video, here are the answers to the corrections assignment. So what I'm going to be doing roughly on screen with you right now, you can download a more complete file so you can see all of the answers. Those answers I want you to check. I want you to make sure that the important parts in it are clear to you so that then you can improve your writing as we go through this. And of course, for your test also too, that you don't make those mistakes, that you improve your writing as we go. So I already downloaded this particular file right here, the corrections handout file, and let me show it to you. Okay, it's right here. Here, topic number 2, Fiona. Gave you a little bit of a sample here. I think it great to help the pet. I completely understand what you're saying, and if this was a conversation, no problem. We'd be able to completely go on with the conversation. But writing is a different problem. Writing, you need to be precise. You need to be correct. So, number 1, I think it is great to help animals. The pet speaks of a singular item, okay? One pet, one animal itself. But what you're talking about is the number of pets that are out there that are homeless, that are running around on the streets as strays. So you want to talk about this as a plural. And you've got to be careful about these basic mistakes that I will mark in your papers as blue. If you get that blue mistake, that dropped your grade down, okay? Because that's just something that you should not be doing. That's why we practice, or we did practice so much in class with I go, do you go, does he go, he goes. Those are things that just have to be, it has to be an instinct, okay? So let's take a look at this first one, okay? Finally, she became so beautiful, dog, and healthy and powerful. And this is something one of you actually wrote in one of your papers. So let me just take this, and we'll start by just taking this and then pasting it in here. And we'll take a look at that and see what we can do to actually change it. Okay, number 1. Okay, fine. Number 1, I completely understand this. Like with all of these sentences that I do with you, I understand them completely. So communication is not a problem. But like I said, writing is a different level. It has to be correct. So let's start with here. Finally, she became, let me just get this. Finally, she became so beautiful, dog. If you stop this and you put a period right here, finally she became so beautiful, period, that would actually be perfectly all right. She became so beautiful. If the sentence ended at beautiful, that adjective, to make the adjective so much stronger, okay, you would just use the word so. You want to really put emphasis on beautiful. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. There's the rest of what this person wrote. So beautiful, dog, and healthy and powerful. So let's take this in parts, okay? The word dog is in this sentence. So what this person is trying to say is that, beautiful, healthy, powerful, dog, that has to be addressed. The sentence will end with the word dog. So if it's going to be a beautiful dog, you can no longer use so. The word beautiful becomes an adjective to a noun, and this becomes mainly a noun phrase. And in a noun phrase, to have the same meaning as so, you have to turn that into such. Okay, and because this is a dog, we're talking about one dog, we're talking about Fiona, she became such a beautiful dog. Okay, now that makes much more sense. Finally, she became such a beautiful dog. Unfortunately, there's still the rest of this, healthy and powerful, and I want to include all of that meaning that you have in this sentence, okay? So let's take a look at that. Where would we put healthy and powerful? Well, those are also adjectives, so of course they belong in front of the noun. But let's take this out, healthy and powerful, and we put them here between beautiful and dog. Now you could say healthy, beautiful, powerful, but it sounds a little bit better to my ear to say beautiful, healthy, and powerful. Oh, we need a comma, beautiful, healthy, comma, and powerful dog. And we don't need the rest of this with the extra and, so let's just get rid of those. Okay, so this becomes, finally she became such a beautiful, healthy, and powerful dog. And that looks a lot more like what a native speaker would write. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, she have a keen sense of smell. There's only one mistake in this, and I'm pretty sure you can already see it. And I think most of you, if I give you time to look at these things, you'll be able to figure it out for yourself. Obviously, okay, it's a she, and it is not have, it is has. Now, what I want you to learn how to be able to do when you're writing is that when you're writing this, at the moment you're writing this, you know that that's a she, so it has to be has. He goes, she eats, it makes. You cannot make this mistake in English. Now, all of your other mistakes like up here with, beautiful, healthy, powerful, I completely understand. English has a lot of difficult problems. But this mistake, you cannot make that mistake. So I want you to remember that. And especially, I think it'll be easier for you to remember that if you just remember this as a different color. And I will also, in your corrections, make that a bold font style so that then you can see it. It should stand out at you. You cannot make that mistake. If you do make that mistake, remember, I will drop your grade by quite a lot. It will drop it from C+ to C. It'll drop it from A- to B+. You could drop an entire grade range just for one mistake. And that's why I tell you, when you're doing your writing, the last 2 minutes of your writing, stop writing. Okay, just read through what you can, try to find these mistakes. Okay, let's do this one now. I was moved to see the video because people were helping one dog cooperatively. Okay, let's take a look at that. First, let's move it from here over to here. And what can we see? Okay, well, I was moved. I completely understand that. That's no problem. I was moved. That's the subject and that's the verb. But I was moved to see the video. There's always a problem in understanding, you should say to see or seeing or other forms. Okay? But when you say to see, the person reading this will think that you're talking about the future. To see means something that you would do, you haven't done yet, or that you do a lot. And it's something that's considered in reference to a future event. And that's not quite true here, because you're talking about when you were watching a video. And also too, when we're talking about videos or TV or small moving images, we say watch, not see. See is for something big like a movie. I saw that movie last year. I will go to see the beautiful architecture of Kyoto. So something big. Talking about something small. Even on a big screen TV, we think that's something that you watch. Okay? And you want to talk about this in the past tense because it already happened. So I would change it this way. When I watched the video. Okay? I was moved when I watched the video. Now here's another one for you. Because. In some of the articles that I'm going to show you, because is used at the beginning of the sentence. And language is one of those things that changes over time. When I was a little boy, it was completely wrong to begin a sentence with because, but, and, or. That, however, is beginning to change. There are more and more Americans especially who begin sentences with but or and or because. Sometimes even I do it, even though I was brought up not to do that because I see so many people doing it, and sometimes it does make good writing for meaning. But grammatically, okay, you're not supposed to do it. And especially, I will never begin, at least right now, I can say, I will never begin a sentence with because. So I don't want you to do it either, okay? Because very much means, right, that the next sentence after because, so this part right here, okay, is the reason for this sentence. they have to be joined within the same sentence. They cannot be two separate sentences. So this has to be a comma, and this because has to be made a small b, because it's within the same sentence. And because itself doesn't need another comma after it. Okay, you take out that comma. Because people were helping one dog cooperatively. Now, this part, I already completely understand that, but it doesn't sound quite right. Okay, that word cooperatively, that doesn't sound like it's in the right place. So I would probably say, because people were, take this out, X, people were cooperating to help one dog. Okay, so there you see, that's something a little bit more of the way a native speaker writes. Okay, that's part one. I'm going to come back in part two in just a second. But right now, let's take a break, and I'll cut the video here and come right back. Okay, so let's continue on with the next set of these corrections. This one is fairly simple. And as I said before, you have got to be able to see these, okay? Because it is not, I'll take the whole thing, but the problem is only in one part of what was written. It is not, I like dogs, they so cute, because you can see right here, okay? I like dogs, that's the verb. This is the subject. Here's the subject. Where's the verb? Oh, you need this verb. Cute is an adjective. Because it's an adjective, the verb is pretty much settled. It has to be be, okay? So if it is they are. And for this person, I told you, as I told you before, when you make that really basic mistake, I'm going to mark that in blue, and I'm going to drop your grade. And unfortunately, this person fell, went from, I think, a C+ to a C, just on that one mistake alone. It's really unfortunate. So got to watch out for that, okay? Okay, this one also is a fairly simple problem. If I do this, I and my pets will be happy. Let's bring this over here. Okay, if I do this, I and my pets. Okay, I and my pets generally grammatically is correct. However, in English, our tradition is to write when you've got this I and somebody else, so yourself and something else. Jose plus you. Mr. Cruz plus Mr. Smith, okay? The I is always last. So you should be writing, okay, my pets, let me take out this X, my pets, and then we take that I, take that out, my pets and I will be happy. And because this is my, okay, that stays just like that, my pets and I will be happy. That's just the way that we write this. It's I will always be last, okay? Oh, and even with me too. If the grammar actually required me, my pets and me, then yeah, me would always be last. And if there's a whole list of 3 people, John, Dave, and I is always last, okay? This one is a little bit harder, so let's take a look at that one, okay? First, let's copy that over. I desire that many animals are helped by people who has warm hearts. Okay, well, let's take a look at the most basic problem, okay? By people who has. People has no. Okay, people have. All right, so this would be yet again one of those problems that will drop a grade down, okay? So this is the most obvious thing, just should be right in front of you. People who have, people have, okay? Those are problems you should never be having. Now, the bigger problem with this is the fact that this is using the word by. And this should be a big signal to you that you're using what's called the passive voice. In Japanese, you call it ukemike. And the passive voice in English is not used. It's used, sorry. It isn't used as much as it is in Japanese. In Japanese, the passive voice is used very often. It's not a problem. But in English, we don't like to hear the passive voice unless there's a good reason for it. And there's no good reason for it. Okay? So when you say many animals are helped, okay, maybe there's a reason you need to use the passive voice. But if you can say by whom or by who, then you don't need the passive voice. You know who the subject is. You use the passive voice in English when you don't know who the subject is, or you can't say who the subject is. But in this case, you can clearly say who the subject is. It's by people who have warm hearts. So let's change this around so it doesn't use the passive voice. Okay? I hope that many animals, well, that many animals are helped. Okay? This are helped. If you take away the are, okay, then you have this verb help. Now you ask yourself, who helped whom? What was the subject? Well, the subject of help is people. People are the ones who did the action of helping. So according to my correction here, I hope that many people who have warm hearts help animals. Okay, just that one last one. Okay, I desire that many people. I would change that to I hope. Desire is something that you usually use in terms of something you want for yourself, for a selfish need. Like you desire more money, you desire more clothes, you desire him, you desire her. That's kind of a selfish thing that you want. But in this case, this isn't really about yourself or a selfish need. So hope is actually a better word. Okay. Now, all of that, okay, as I've corrected it, will be easier to find once you get to, if I can go to Safari here, once you get to the corrections assignment that's not just in class 5, but in class 6, okay, you will find these corrections answers available for you next week on the day of the class. So download those corrections, as I said before in my other videos, download them, keep them, study them so they can help you remember what to write for the next time we do a writing assignment. Okay, and then next week, we will have a writing assignment. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to be on demand or online. It all depends on what happens in Fukuoka over the next 10 or 14 days. But as soon as I know, I'm going to put it up on our Moodle. Okay? Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.